Hello and welcome back to English class. I wanted to make a quick video um, reviewing parts of speech for you because it's going to be very important, not only going through the rest of the year digitally, but also with everything that you do going forward is to know the basic parts of speech and how they work within sentences. We're going to focus a lot on sentence structure and editing the rest of the um, year here. Even though we won't be in class, we will be meeting digitally and online. So I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page with that. So without further ado, parts of speech review. Let's jump right into it. And we got Dr. Seuss to help us out today. So starting with nouns and verbs. Nouns are names. They name people, places, or ideas or things. For instance, Miss Elliot loves this book. Horton hears a who. Whoville is a city, and Horton hears a who. So Miss Elliot is a person, so she's a noun. A book is a thing, so it's a noun. Whoville is a place, so it's a noun. Miss Elliot and Whoville are both proper nouns because they are specific people and places. A book is a regular noun because it is just a book. It could be any book. In this case, Horton hears a who. If I said Horton hears a who, that would be a pronoun because it's a specific noun. Nouns are the subjects or objects within a sentence, and we'll talk about that more another time. But it is very important that you know and can identify nouns in sentences. Verbs are the actions. They are the actions that the nouns in the sentence are taking. So the objects are the subjects. What are they doing in the sentence? For instance, the cat in the hat cleaned the house quickly. He cleaned. So that's the action. That's the verb. The turtles were stacked on top of each other. Stacked is the action, so it's the verb. He finally ate the green eggs and ham. Ate is a past tense of eat. It's an action, so he ate the green eggs and ham. He is the subject. Green eggs and ham is the object, and ate is the verb. So again, nouns are the objects or the subjects, the person, place, or thing, and verbs are the action that they're taking. Then we have prepositions and pronouns. Prepositions, they link nouns or pronouns to another part of the sentence. Basically, they tell us where things are taking place. Horton found out that who's lived on the speck of dust. On is the preposition. The Lorax stood upon a stump to talk to the Onceler. Upon. Again, where is the object or the action taking place? Think of on, in, under, over, on top, upon. Those are all prepositions. Within, between, where things are happening. Think of prepositions. Pronouns, they take the place of a noun. He is yellow with a star on his tummy. He is a Sneetch. He has a name, but I'm using the pronoun he in this case to take the place of his proper name or what he is. He is wearing wonderful blue socks. He is a fox. He has a name as well, but he takes place of those names, and he is a pronoun. She looks frightened. I believe that's Cindy Lou Who. She has a name. She is a person. She is a girl. She's a female, but the pronoun she takes that place of that. So when I talk about pronouns, I, you, he, she, they, them, we, these are all pronouns. Our is also a pronoun. And whenever you see that, they represent some actual noun, but I use a generic term, a non-specific term to take the place of that, and it's just usually used for convention or for when I say that I mean it's used to make it easier. Once I've talked about the Sneetch or the Fox or Cindy Lou Who, I don't have to keep saying her name over and over and over again. I can use she, or I can use he, or they, or them to make my speech and sentences flow easier. Then we have adjectives and adverbs. These are both describing words or phrases, but they are used in two different ways. Adjectives describe nouns, or they can also describe other adjectives. The mean Grinch stole Christmas. Mean describes how the Grinch is. The bored children needed something to do. Bored describes how the children are feeling. So in those cases, both mean and bored are adjectives. They're describing nouns. If I was to say the mean green Grinch, mean describes green, or both words describe Grinch, so you can stack, that's called stacking adjectives together, and you'll see that quite often. Adverbs are like adjectives, but they describe verbs. So whenever I see add, think of adding it to another word. Adjectives adds it to an object or to a subject, so that's where we get the eject in adjectives. Adverbs, well, verbs are action words, so adverbs describe how action words are being done. They can also describe other adjectives, but generally we will see them with describing verbs or other adverbs, as in thing 1 and thing 2 wildly ran around. Wildly describes how they were running. A lot of times you'll see or hear that words ending in ly are adverbs, and that's generally true. If you see words ending in ly, like wildly, they are probably adverbs. They also will answer questions like how, where, when, or how often. So how actions were being done, where were they being done, when were they being done, how often are they being done. And finally, we have conjunctions and interjections. Conjunctions are words that join two ideas or show the relationship between two sentence parts. The cat in the hat was fun, but he also made a huge mess. So it's kind of when I combine two sentences together, I'm using a conjunction. I could say the cat in the hat was fun. I could also say the cat in the hat made a huge mess. But by combining them together, I make a much more interesting sentence. Cat in the hat was fun, but he also made a huge mess. I also make a contrast between him being fun, but also being messy. And sometimes someone who's fun is also someone who's messy. The fish are yellow, red, and blue, but none are green. Again, I'm using the word but as a conjunction to combine two ideas or thoughts, which could be separate. The fish are yellow, red, and blue, period. None of the fish are green. So, but by combining them and using a conjunction, but I make a much more interesting sentence. Same thing with and. The fish and cat in the hat was smart, and he was kind of mean. So here again, I'm using two sentences combined into one much more interesting sentence to describe the fish and give a overall better description of him, so I know that he's smart and he can be mean as well. Conjunctions, words would be things like but, yet, however, and, though. Those are types of conjunctions that you may see, but whenever you see commas in a sentence, usually there will be a conjunction, because again, a comma kind of splits two different thoughts together. The last one is interjections. Interjections, think of expressing emotions, as in, oh my, Dr. Seuss is amazing. Holy cow, that is one mean kangaroo. So if you see exclamation points in a sentence, a lot of times interjections will be a sentence on their own, like wow, and it's just a way of showing emotion in your sentence, which always helps when you're telling a story. It helps the reader relate to it. So interjections can be very powerful, but also they're not used very often in order to sort of keep that power, make sure they stay powerful. They almost always begin sentences, and they're usually followed again by an exclamation point or sometimes a comma. So that was our review. So again, it was nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, interjections, prepositions. I think I'm missing one, but hopefully you remember what they were. Pronouns. Make sure you know what those are. So if you still aren't sure, go back and rewatch this video, please. And as we go forward, if you get confused in any further videos, keep this video bookmarked somewhere and refer back to it so that you will remember what these are, because it's very important as we go to break down sentences and as we look at grammar going forward, that you remember what all these terms mean. Other than that, if you have any questions, please email me. Please see me at our office hours at 1:30 or to 2:30 every single day on Google Hangouts. And other than that, stay safe, and I will see you next time.